Hey, hey, Blue Table fans, Shawn here, and welcome to the golden hour. You know, I'm not gonna call it that. It sounds too close to golden shower. Ah, there we go. Minus reflectivity on the glasses. All right, let's see. Can you see my eyeballs? See how beautiful my eyes are? All right. So, what's been going on in Gatelytopia? Gatelyland. It's Sunday night. Had my kids for the weekend, which was awesome. I love being around them. It's really fantastic. Let's see here. Yeah, those are some good-looking kids. My two youngest, I think, they're going to be able to get by in life just on their looks. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, somehow I think they're better looking than their father or their mother. So, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I've made no progress on my painting over the weekend for aforestated reasons. But I do have the rest of the Aurochs for Age of Sigmar being assembled, and I had kind of burned on Warhammer 40k, you know? It's like, I've just been doing that game for so long, and... Oh, by the way, I have 4 Drop Zone Commander armies. It's up to when I made them, it was everything they made. But now I'm looking at the site, and I'm just like, they put out all these new releases now. All my armies are behind. So, I don't know, I either need to catch them up. But see, I haven't played with them for like 6 months, maybe even longer. So, it's probably time to sell those off. If I remember, I'll put some prices for them in the liner notes. If you go back and look, if you look up Drop Zone, keyword Drop Zone on our video channel, you can find videos of all 4 of these armies. I have a PHR army, Post-Human Republic, United Colonies of Man, Scourge, and Shaltari. So, and they are great armies. Consistent, they've got magnetization in them, and just really, really good stuff. So, anyway, what else? Oh, my son turned 15, my oldest son, and I'm like, hey, what do you want to do for your birthday? Oh my gosh, I have a brush still in the water. That is amateur. Oh, no, wait, I know who left that there. Ha, ha, ha. It wasn't me. I don't leave brushes in the water. So he's like, hey, I want to go to this magic tournament back in our hometown at his old game shop, and we did. We spent quite an evening there, and it was good. I got smoked in this tournament, and I played Magic since it came out. I started playing in '94. First married. Actually bought my first sets on the honeymoon, you know. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to read this rule book. You're blocking the light. No, I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be funny, though? Typical nerd. And so, yeah, I went to a local shop to pick up some cards. They were sold out, but the owner was like, hey, some guys are in the back playing, you know, a game. Why don't you go see if they want to sell you some secondhand cards? Like, awesome. So I go back, I'm looking it over. Everybody's new to it at this point. Nobody knows what it is or what it's going to become. And so they're like, all right, well, I guess a dime a card. And they handed me like stacks to look through, and I picked out what was interesting. And what's funny is if I had just sleeved all of that and then sold it now, I could have paid off my house. I mean, because, I mean, I was buying Moxes for a dime. And those guys were just like, well, you know, so they're just like land, you know. You get a mana. I don't know how these could be better. And that was at a time because when the game was originally done, the author, Richard Garfield, he thought that people would just have a limited pool, and they would trade and sort of, you know, nobody, of course, would go and buy like a zillion of them and have suitcases full of them. But little did he know, he underestimated the nerdtastic nerdiness of nerds. So, yeah, and so I started running like little Magic tournaments, and think we had like 30 or 40 people at one we ran down at the Shriners. And this was in 90, must have been 94, 95. And so I did that for a while. I haven't played for like years now because I can't. Same thing with video games. If I get into it, it'll just be this huge money and time sink. I'll just be like obsessing over them all the time. So I got to stay focused on what I'm focused on, and that works out better for me. So yeah, quite a history of Magic. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I owned a game shop in Oregon in the late 90s, and for about 3 years, and it was really pretty cool. Built it from scratch with nothing, no loans, just sort of like gently snowballed this little inventory. It wasn't even that much. It was like $3,000 to $5,000 worth of inventory when we added it up. We actually sold the company. It was called Invincible War Games. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Little shop, nice fun adventure. That's what I did before being a school teacher. Go to college and own my shop. All right, to the questions. And by the way, you guys really are not really supporting the show very well. And this is all I got. What I need to do is every time an artist comes in, which is 1 to 3 times a day, I need to have like an interview with them. And I think that and showing off the stuff would be like a show. In fact, Virginia was in today, and she turned in a board game set. And by the way, we're doing a lot with board games these days. Where'd it go? I had it. Come on now. Aha, yeah. Perfectly handy too. She painted this roller derby set. So let's see. Here they are. Let me pull out a couple. What's cool about... Oh yeah, she just did such a good job on them. I don't know if it's going to focus. Hopefully it will. I can't really tell from my little screen. But she painted the board planks on the bases and like puttied them in so they would be absolutely flat. Gotta tell you, that's a pretty quality job. So here's the other team. Yeah, I don't think it's focusing very well. Well, anyway, I took some pictures on our Flickr page. Something new I'm starting on our Flickr page, which is Blue Table Painting, by the way, is I've started. Man, this office is getting a little crowded. I've got to clean it up. So I've started doing recipes where it'll tell you the process, the color, and the location. So, you know, dry brush, light gray on the weapons. And I think if we keep that up, the Flickr page might actually see quite a bit of traffic because it'll show you a completed project and it'll tell you the step-by-step of how to paint it. So I think that's pretty cool. And all right, well, let's look at the questions. Oh boy, my chair is like really creaky. That's what I tell the kids. All right, that sound you heard was the chair creaking. That's why. Please, Harry Fotiadis says, please, oh please do the Stormcast Eternals to show us how to remove the really ugly shoulder pads. I don't know what to say. Okay. About dating, you sir are lucky I'm not gay. And that has a few thumbs up on it. All right. You've been in the miniature wargaming business for a year, correct? Coming up on 20 years, actually. And did you ever think the hobby, mini war games in general, would have come this far, whether it is the community or the games models themselves? How has the community changed the years in your experience? And he PS's, we believe in you, you can do it. Oh, thank you, that's awesome. Do what? You know what, in fact, I want to talk about, just in a little bit, if I remember, my big dream for this whole thing. And how I would like it to be. And the dream is so big, I don't even know how to do it. I feel like I'm just sort of entertaining myself, passing the time while maybe just something miraculous happens. We'll see. I certainly believe in it. Okay, so when I started, I owned my game shop. The great, oh my gosh, such a good story for this. So, hold on. Games Workshop was courting the independent retailers. Now they just kind of treat them like, you know, a tolerated inconvenience as they do what I predicted. In '98, I was talking to my rep. I'm like, you know, you guys are just trying to cut through the middleman and go direct to yourselves. And he's like, oh no, that's not a thing. That wouldn't happen. It's like, yep, that's what they've been slow. Guys, they've got a 30-year plan to axe the middleman. So, and it's interesting because, and this has to do with War Games community, because the community is resistant. It's this very, sort of has this agile, guerrilla warfare kind of nature to it, and it just can't be tamed. In fact, the biggest pothole in Blue Table Painting's history happens like 2 weeks after I say we're an unstoppable juggernaut, and it's like, nope, no, you are not. But it's really good too, because it tends to monitor itself very well. In fact, I think the War Games community is a zillion times more friendly and inviting and what's the word I'm looking for? Community-nessiveness than other things like video games. I mean, video games, people are just mean on those things. I mean, the type of stuff that is tolerated is just beyond me, you know. Of course, I'm just basing this on my two sons' experience, age 11 and 15, but you know, I hear them talking on the headphones to their internet friends, and it's really neat. For the most part, I think humans are good. So anyway, so we went to this convention in Reno, and it was held by Games Workshop. They invited the independent retailers out. Very smart move on their part, by the way, to develop that relationship early on. And they were like, check it out, plastics. And we were like, whoa. And it was the Eldar Falcon. They had made the grav tank. Oh, that's good. They had made a grav tank, and we were just like, because everything was metal. It was all metal blisters at the time. That's what you had. You had shelves and shelves and shelves of metal blisters. And I got to tell you, Games Workshop has really advanced the hobby that way. And in general, processes have really advanced. But what's been neat is the industry has maintained a low barrier to entry with just traditional techniques, with vulcanized rubber molds, with just cold rubber molds, and resin. So basically just somebody in their garage can start doing a line of products. The best example of this is the owner of Hawk War Games. And he basically made it all at his house. It's huge. I mean, that guy has accomplished something. And he's going to reap the benefits because his game is going strong. And I love it. I just haven't really, my company really hasn't kept up. In fact, that's where I am right now. I'm starting to reach out to these old allies as my company gets back up to speed, I guess you might say. And by the way, I can't go into details, but this month marks really a tremendous watershed. It's, oh my gosh, what a relief. It's fantastic. The turnaround time is starting to get like really, really, really super good. And just, you know, and I can see the goal within reach of what I've wanted for a long time. And that is that the projects come in, they get worked on immediately, no backlog, and we get that customer satisfying turnaround where it's just, oh wow, you guys are done already? Oh, that's fantastic. Because people want their stuff right away. And I've long had a dream to do it where it was just a matter of days. But of course, there's a downside to that too, because there is a sweet spot where between the deposit and the final payment, which is paychecks. That to get your army painted, it helps a lot to spread it between 2 or 3 paychecks, and depending on how often you get paid. So that actually helps. So when I started Warhammer, White Dwarf would show you how to make an Eldar Viper out of like a like a deodorant bottle. And that's what we were doing. We were just making stuff out of whatever we could, kit bashing, and so it certainly was a golden age, but I'd much prefer it now where it's just like, oh, these releases come out and they're just heartbreaking. The stuff that they're making is just amazing. And these little side companies, they're making stuff that is so imaginative and just wonderful. You know, I'm realizing now how creaky this chair is. All right, hello, I am Computer Guy. All right, so there you go. War Games community. And the community, guys, you guys have been good to me. Thank you. It's amazing. There's quite a few stories of amazingness. It really is. It's really, I'm just glad to have been a part of it. You may want to double check the rule about adding models to units. Oh, okay, I already clarified that one. So, but you know, I do want to talk about that. So in Age of Sigmar, there's some units that can summon whole units, and typically they summon a basic unit size or double that size if they get a really good roll. And notably, this is the Seraphon, the Lizardmen, they're called Seraphon now. The Undead and Demons have summoning stuff. So, and what you'd expect, except the Seraphon, that was kind of a surprise. So if you just play the rules as they are, then it balances out because the summoned unit, and by the way, it's very powerful. It's huge. Like, if I took one Slann and you had your whole army on the table, I could probably make it an even battle just by summoning things. And so played strictly according to Age of Sigmar, not the points thing that they came up with to sort of appease the rules people. Summoning is really powerful, but you know, you got to deal with it in the context of the game. There's ways to counteract summoning magic by having dispelling power of your own, and there are ways to hold on. Oh, and in the game as it's written, you win by what percentage of your opponent's units you kill. So, or how was that? No, if they have a lot of units and you don't have as many, it's easier to get like some kind of sudden death victory. So if you summon a bunch of stuff. But personally, I think, so in points battles, you have to have a reserve of points, which I love better than reserves in 40K. Couple of reasons. One, it's just a points pool. So if you summon a unit, you just have to pay for it out of this reserve that you have. It's a little unclear when it comes to if you summon something that's smaller, because there are some powers like the Wood Elf Branch Witch or whatever can summon 2d6 Dryads. Well, you pay for Dryads in units of 10. So do you prorate it? It's not really specific on that, and I wish they would have been specific. So personally, I think that and they can come out on the first turn. So you can immediately just boom, they drop in, they can even charge on the first turn. And so summoning actually is pretty balanced in the pitch battles point system, because even though your guys aren't on the board, moving the wizard up and then summoning something 18 inches away, and then that something potentially being able to charge. And by the way, notably, the Morghasts, these bad girls right here, one of them, I can't remember which type, I think it's the type with the two swords, the Harbingers, they can charge 3d6 inches. So they can be summoned and they can charge right on in, and actually have a really good chance of getting, you need a 9 on 2d6, those guys are all 3d6, so a 9 or higher on 3d6, that's actually pretty good chance of being able to pull that off. And so there's something to it, guys. Okay, so Rich is alive. Frontline Gaming had an RIP and a picture of Rich in the end of one of their videos. I don't know. Let's text him. I haven't heard from Rich in a while. And you know what? I just need to introduce you to new people in my crew who are awesome, by the way. Really nice. You met Rick You've met a couple of them, Katie, Rick, notably. I'm just feeling my way through it. You know, obviously I've gone through, you know, a transformative phase of my life. The company's gone through a transformative phase too. And so, okay, here we go. Rich, last name. Here he is. Texting. Hey buddy, are you still alive? Question mark. Well, I'll be a little embarrassed if that is... Well, there you go. Too late. I hit send. I'm a firm believer in hitting send. Just do it. You wrote it. It came from somewhere. Just hit send. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. It's better to just get something out there and find out later that it wasn't great than not do anything at all. Okay, so, but you know what? They're an hour away. I'm in the capital now, and, you know, that's what happens. Hey, Shawn, longtime fan. Let's say Oisin Gaffney. Hey. Says, hey, Shawn, longtime fan from Ireland. I think you should call the show the Golden Hour. Too close to Golden Shower. So, can't do it. You got to be careful with that stuff. Let's see. Red Green 09. By the way, thanks for being a longtime fan. Yes, finally Adam runs everything. See that show. There no more Mythbusters, but that show just as good. We like shows like that tell you true things. We'll see more. Fantastic. Thank you very much. I always hear it in like this really thick Cajun accent. 118 Warhammer says, I've tried finding the video, but I'm having no luck. I don't know what video that is. I must have mentioned it. Senpai says, you are a great guy, Shawn. Thanks. I got a very weird music suggestion. So there's that. What of your old crew? I think I talked about that. Oh, hold on a tick now. Thomas moved to the Bay Area. Okay, great. Good for them. Good luck. Okay. Hey, Shawn, I subscribe to, let's see, Gianluca Testa says, hey, Shawn, I subscribe to the channel because I like battle reports, but I found some deep thoughts here. They are cool. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Don't worry, they're coming. You know, the terrain's boxed up, and, you know, I'm just doing what I'm doing. Also, I watch your videos while I paint or build up an army. Would like to see some of the miniatures I converted. Would you like to see some of the miniatures I converted while I was listening to you? The answer is yes. Yes, I would love to. You can friend me on Facebook, so that's a good way to send me stuff. Let's see. Luger 9mm says, I love the vids. LOL, just nice to sit and talk. I feel as though I'm talking to you personally, along with the other lovely people with us. I'm getting close to finishing up my Stormcast army, and most of all, the amazing Star Drake. Oh yeah, that model's huge. I can't wait. I'm already, in my mind, I'm already formulating how I'm going to paint the Stormcasts. Because I want to find a way where they look awesome, but it's like really an easy way to do it. And I think it's non-metal metal, oddly. P.S. Would you be opposed to doing a work-in-progress type deal where you show off some of our minis we are working on? No, I would love to. You know what you guys should do? You should start Gmailing me like video clips and pictures to bluetablepainting@gmail.com, and I'll put them up. Yeah, that'll be great. Let's do that. Well, guys, that's all I have. And there's much more to come. There's only 1 week until Valhalla is coming. So, yeah, part of me is like, you know what, Shawn, just do the things. Don't add more things to your plate. And the other part of me is like, dude, this is the time. I don't know why it didn't occur to me before, but I'm like, this is the place you're going to do your ultimate D&D. And it's such a great idea that I'm like, you know, don't hold back just because, you know, it might not be good enough. You just got to get it out there. So I think I'm going to make a run for it this week. next Saturday, Miranda, Wargamer Girl, and her husband are going to be in town. And I'm going to show them around, and we're going to start loading stuff up and get it all set up. It's going to be exciting. I'm more than slightly stoked for Valhalla. So anyways, if you'd like to set up a project, it's projects@bluetablepainting.com. I am running a special in September for artistic license, so feel free to contact me, ask about that, and I think that's it. So hey, thanks a lot for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And next time I'll have to tell you about the big dream. I think I've plugged it a few times on here, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.